BlogTalk Radio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this conversation about your Kundalini awakening experiences. My name is Chrism, and I'm one of the hosts of this program. Today, I'd like to just kind of tune into the Kundalini and see what she wants to talk about. And evidently, one of the things to be discussed is your practice of the safety protocols. So let's just imagine wildly that you're every day you're getting up and you're doing their 5 Tibetans, you're doing 21 spins to the right, and you're as soon as you're done with that, you're laying down and you're pulling that energy up from the base of the spine to the second chakra right below the navel. And you're doing those leg lifts there or knee lifts, either way. And then you're getting up on your knees and you're grabbing the cheeks of your rear end, and your feet are arched, and you're inhaling and arching your head back and then coming straight up, so on and so forth through all the Tibetans. Then you're sitting down and you're doing pranayama for a certain amount of time that's unique to each person. Then you're doing a bit of a breathing meditation or a compression prayer, depending on the individual, and so on and so forth. And you're doing this every day, every single day. And then let's just, we'll add in a few more practices. We'll say you're doing a mirror practice, or you're doing a restraint practice, or you're adding some other practices into that. Perhaps you're doing the serpent practice and some of these things that I know you don't know about. A lot of these things that I'm saying, but some of the private students are doing these types of practices because they want to go further into it. And all of a sudden, because you're going to be around people that don't understand what you're doing, and it might raise questions about what you're doing, all of a sudden you stop your practice. You stop your practice cold turkey. For the last, weeks or months or whatever, you've been doing this practice, and now, boom, you stop the practice. So what you've been doing is you've been setting up this platform of energetic expansion within yourself. You've been setting it up, building the platform, building it wide, broad, tall, strong, and then boom, it stops and it begins to crumble, and it begins to not be nourished. It begins to be unsubstantiated. This can have a deleterious effect upon a person. You don't want to just stop your practice out of the blue. Just a second here. I'm hearing some weird stuff here. I have this new headset on, and I was hearing tones like the na'ad or the nada, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, what am I being told here? And so I had to stop and check, and I'm not sure what that was, but it's something. But it just stops, so that's good. So you don't want to just stop this practice. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you're going to make a commitment to the Kundalini, make it a sure commitment. There it is again. Make it a sure commitment, and do not allow the egotism or the fear that your practice may invoke in other people to curtail your practice. Go in the bathroom and do it. Go somewhere where they aren't, and do your practice there. And if you can't do all the practice, do part of the practice. You can sit there on a toilet without, actually using the toilet for its purpose. You can sit there on a toilet seat and you can do pranayama easily for a good 10, 12, maybe 15 minutes. You can meditate sometime, maybe right after you go to bed. You can keep your practice going strong. It's not going to help you. It actually can have an effect on the immune system. It can have an effect on your energetic anatomy, where you're filling it with energy, and just like a balloon, you're deflating it by sacrificing it on the altar of other people's ego. Now, let's see. I'm going to go into the chat room real quick here, and uh-oh. The sound is off, huh? Shoot. Let's see. I've just been talking to the air, evidently.
Chrism? Hello? Okay, I don't know what's happening now. Chrism? Bo, can you hear me? Can you just let me know if you can hear me? Say yes or no there. I think Chrism might have... Yeah, you see, Chrism I think has gone now because he thought he couldn't be heard when Ayman said he couldn't. So unfortunately, I'll just wait until he comes back. So what I'm going to do while I tap dance, as we call it here, is I am going to give you a little bit of information about the seminar that's going on in Germany in May. And if Chrism doesn't come back, I'll go over to Mohan. So in May, there's a seminar on in Germany, and Manisha is organizing that. It's on at the very end of May, the last weekend, and those dates are the 26th and the 27th of May. And if you want to get information on that, just pop onto Facebook and go to Chrism's page. Well, you can go to Chrism's page, but if you actually go to the seminar page, it's called Kundalini Seminars and Events with Chrism, and you will get information there on the seminar in Germany. So it's happening for a weekend. Manisha is organizing it, and it's fairly full. It's going to be a small seminar of maybe about 15 people, and I think she has something like that many booked in already. So very much looking forward to it. I'm going to go. I know there are people coming. There's a person coming from France, from the United Kingdom, and from Germany, from where else? From Belgium, from Ireland. There's another person coming from Ireland. And I think there's a couple of people coming from the UK. We've got somebody flying in from America. So, if you're listening to this, please consider coming. We would love to see you there. Chrism, are you there? Chrism. So there is a seminar happening much sooner than that. There's a seminar happening at the end of this month. And I'm going to go over now to Mohan, who is the host of this seminar, and he's going to give you the information. Hi, Mohan. Hello, Mohan.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? I'm coming to you a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I know.
That's good. Will you share with people the information about the seminar?
Yeah, sure. So the Kundalini seminar in Denver is happening at the end of April. It is the 28th and 29th. And there is barely like 3 weeks left for the seminar to start. So if you're living in the United States, this is a golden opportunity. Go ahead and register yourself. You can find more information on the Kundalini Events and Seminar with Chrism on the Facebook page. Do it as soon as possible.
Fantastic. And what's your contact, Mohan? How would people contact you personally?
Yeah, you can call me at 720-934-1751. That's my cell number. You can find the
Okay.
cell number details also on the Facebook page. You can call me or Rosemary. Both the numbers are available on the Facebook page.
Okay, that's wonderful. So that's happening in 3 weeks' time. So as Mohan said, if you are living in the USA or even in Canada or anywhere in the States really, it's a fairly, it's fairly central, isn't it, Mohan? Where you are there?
Yes,
It's a good
Central
place
America.
to access. Yeah. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to meet with Chrism, a Kundalini awakened teacher with vast experience of Kundalini awakening crisis, Kundalini awakening syndrome, but also the wonderful aspects of Kundalini awakening. And so, as well as meeting Chrism, you will also meet other Kundalini active and awakening people like Mohan and Rosemary, and I know there are a few others coming, like Katie, Andrew, and it's a wonderful opportunity to meet people. There's nothing like a seminar, guys, because I've been to a few, and it is very nourishing, I can say that, because really at the end of the day, there's very few of us know Kundalini people. I mean, in my daily life, I don't know any other Kundalini person. Do you, Mohan?
No, in my daily life, no.
No, I mean, it's rare, So,
yeah.
If you haven't met other Kundalini people yet, really look at this opportunity to go to Colorado. It is precious. For me, I've gone to quite a few of them, and I'm going to the one in Germany as well. And every single seminar that I've been to with Chrism is different. None of them are the same. I mean, for sure, the topics are similar. But I have witnessed at every seminar, the Shakti tailors the seminar through Chrism for the people who are attending. So, there's going to be a different bunch of people, we say, at this seminar. Hello, are you back, Chrism? Oh, yahoo! What happened?
I had to call in. I have no idea what's going on here. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, but Chrism, we could hear you,
You can hear me okay right now?
We can hear you okay right now. I see actually there that you're on a different line. But I just want to say to you, we could hear you fine because Bo said on the chat room he could hear you fine. I think it was just that guy that I can't recall his name now. He just needed to refresh. So I don't know what.
Well, it stopped working somehow, some way. It stopped working because I was talking during that excellent tap dancing that you were doing. Very nicely done, by the way. My compliments to you.
Thank you. Okay, then. Well, you're here now, so I must put your name down there because you're on a different line.
Nicely done with you as well, Mohan. Both of you, excellent job with that. Excellent.
Thank you, Master.
I just want to find out first of all, if people can hear me now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wait for people in the chat room to give me like Bo or Michelle or Pandananda or Vicky, just to see. I just want to make sure sound is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good. Thank you for your patience, ladies and gentlemen. What I was saying, I think you guys may have heard that, was that if you start a practice, if you commit yourself to a Kundalini practice, don't sacrifice it upon the altar of other people's ego or comfort levels. Do your best not to practice in front of them if you think it's going to disturb them. And as I think I may have been heard saying, you can do pranayama on the sitting on the toilet, without necessarily. I mean, you could probably use the toilet too, but that may not be the scent that you want to. I mean, people do, though, I'm sure. But you can just have the privacy of being in the bathroom and doing the alternate nostril breathing for 12 or 15 minutes right after you maybe do the first Tibetan. If you can, turn around in the bathroom and you can like kind of pull your arms in and turn for 21 times. And then, maybe that's the only thing that you can do in the bathroom, unless they've got a really big bathroom. It's very important for your immune system. Here's the thing: it's like as you practice the Kundalini practice, you're generating Kundalini. You're generating Kundalini, and you're disseminating it throughout your body. And it's not an instantaneous thing. You don't do a Kundalini practice and go, okay, I'm awakened now. No, you're in the process of becoming awakened, and so it begins to infiltrate into the various systems of the body, the immune system being one, but also the cardiovascular system, which supports the immune system, the endocrine system, which supports the immune system, all of the different systems of the body, which work with each other, which mesh with each other and work synergistically with each other in the body. And so when you pull the plug on the Kundalini practice, you're pulling the plug on a lot of energy that your body has begun to become acclimated to. And as you pull that plug, well, you're literally, maybe you're operating at this frequency here. And when you pull the plug, you do this. Back down to where you were, which your body now is not used to being. And so it's really important to continue that practice. I don't care if you're going to Mongolia or Florida or Washington State, Canada, Japan, anywhere that you're going, try to keep that Kundalini practice going, even on the jet. Now, on the jet, I understand, you're going to the bathroom, you're probably not going to want to do pranayama there. But you could do some chakra breathing there in your airplane seat. You can just kind of go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, do that chakra breathing, and just kind of like, that's okay. I mean, as soon as you land or whatever, you get situated at your hotel or your friends or wherever you're going, you can resume that regular practice within a 24-hour period. This is important. It's important to understand. And I need to know that the sound is still good here. I don't want to talk to the air. So if Andrew or Bo, if you could reassure me that it's still being heard, I'd be very grateful for that. So that is one of the things that's very important. Right now, I'd like you to realize the importance of your practice. If you get sick after you stop with your practice, thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much. She says the sound is still being heard. So, if you all of a sudden stop your practice, well, you're stopping a lot of different frequencies of activity that the Kundalini is giving to you. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to get sick. I don't want you to all of a sudden feel really low. I don't want you to feel, like you're being attacked or getting paranoid or anything like that. So it's really important for people to understand that once you start this practice, you want to keep it going. Not to say that if you start the practice, the Kundalini practice, and all of a sudden you go, oh, man, I don't know about this Kundalini stuff. Jeez Louise. I don't know about this. Just, oh, man. Oh, God. Plus that guy with the beard. Oh, my God. He's so monotonous. If you want to stop it, then that's perfectly okay. You stop it. You get your body acclimated, to, back into the mundane world. And that's fine. That's fine. You may have some malaise for a little while because the body's so used to the energy. But if you've made a choice to stop it, not stop and start, but to just stop it permanently, not a problem. Your body will eventually come back into a position of normal, mundane type of responses. But you don't want to stop and start, stop and start, stop and start, stop and start. Then, put yourself in an environment where perhaps, there's a lot of entities there, like, say, in a bar. Just lately, I've had some people that just finished the Shakti pot. I mean, just finished it, and they find themselves in a bar drinking whiskey and champagne. Now, first of all, it's a sin to mix the grape and the grain. I used to be a non-drinking bartender back in my younger days. And, you never want to mix the grape and the grain. So, number one. Number two, you don't want to take the Shakti pot, practice the safeties, and then all of a sudden give in to peer pressure and start getting drunk in bars. I mean, come on. Really, seriously. That is an amazing affront to the grace that you've been inviting in. And it certainly doesn't mix well with me. So that has happened recently too, and it kind of ties in together. This person, doing the practice, taking the Shakti pot, doing that practice on top of the regular safeties practice, and then let's go to the bar, get drunk on champagne and whiskey. No. This comes back to the commitment aspect to the Kundalini. What are you doing, ladies and gentlemen? What are you doing? Why are you even listening to this program about Kundalini if the next thing you're going to do is find yourself smoking pot, injecting heroin, drinking alcohol, or, having that nice strong cup of coffee? What are you doing here? It's important that you ask yourself that question. Kundalini is not something you want to trifle with. It is not a game. It has profound health effects upon your body and upon your being. It is not something you just want to stop because you're having a bad mood or a bad day. It's not something you want to stop because you fell in love with some guy or some gal. I fell in love with this girl, and I don't know if she's really comfortable with my practice, so I'm just going to stop. Nothing is worth sacrificing Kundalini for. Nothing at all. And that includes even if the Kundalini guided you to have a relationship with, person A, B, or C. She's guiding you to have the relationship, but she's not guiding you to stop the relationship with her by virtue of stopping your practice. You need to become committed to this, my friends. Even if you already have the Kundalini, you say, Chrism, I already got the Kundalini. I don't need no stinking practice. I already have the Kundalini. You still need the stinking practice. You still need to be committed to the recognition and inculcation and generative aspects of her on a daily basis. That's your part of the deal. Well, the Kundalini comes to them and they're in the activated or awakened state, and they think, oh, God, she's been doing this for me. She's giving me all these energy rushes, and I'm getting these visions, and the animals are coming up to me, and everybody loves standing next to me, and oh my God, it's just so wonderful. I don't have to lift a finger. Well, you do. You do have to lift a finger. Because pretty soon she'll just stop. She'll just stop. And you'll be going, WTF, what happened? What happened? Well, what did I do to make Shakti angry at me? What did I do? And I get this a lot. They'll come to me and they'll say, Master Chrism, I just, the Shakti was going great. She's showing me all these things and giving me all this information. And all of a sudden she's just what did I do? What's wrong? Well, I'll tell you what's wrong. You're not stepping up to the plate, to use a baseball analogy. You're not doing your share of the work. You're just sitting back and letting her do all the work to you and for you. And you're not lifting a finger. You're being lazy. You're being lazy in your attitude and your relationship with the Kundalini. And this is not a good thing. And she will stop, just to give you that idea, just to give you that clue. She has given you the safeties. She gave you the safety protocols. She took techniques almost from every religion, shamanic tradition, over the thousands and thousands and thousands and millennia that people have been having the Kundalini. She condensed that all into a very safe and very beautiful practice that we call the safeties, and that is how you recognize it. That's how you recognize her. That's how you nourish her, and that's how you sustain her presence within you. It's a two-way street, ladies and gentlemen. You've got to do something. You lay back in bed or sit back in the couch watching the TV or watching the lights dance behind your closed eyelid. This is not what it is. You have got to do this work. Okay. You have got to do this work. All right. So as you practice the safeties and you don't let up, I mean, really, the whole idea of sacrificing the safeties practice on the altar of a relative or a friend's egotistic ignorance or innocence, not a good plan. I got to go back to that. Not a good plan. It has deleterious effects upon the human system. So I just wanted to reiterate that. I want to thank Suntara for making the announcement about Germany. I want to thank Mohan for making the announcement about Colorado. Would invite anybody to come. Anybody who wants information or experience with the Kundalini, come to these seminars. Call Mohan up. His is the next one. It's this month, ladies and gentlemen. This month. So if you haven't made that commitment yet, then make that commitment. If you've told me personally that you're coming, well, then get the ticket. I can tell, I can hear it a little bit, Mohan's a little nervous. Where are the thousands of people that are supposed to be coming to this? He's probably talking to his Shakti and got to go, Shakti, what's up? I'm going to come over here to Mohan. Is that right, Mohan? Uh-oh, are you in the mall? Is this the mall, Mohan? The Mohan Mall? Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and quiet that down a little bit here. There we go. So it's important for you to understand that if going to a seminar is really like making a commitment to meet your own Shakti. Seriously. To know more about her, to know what your responsibilities are, such as a practice, to know some of the things that are helpful, nutritious for the Kundalini, some of the things that perhaps you don't want to partake of, like black magic or some of these other lower forms of energetic manipulation that you find quite a bit of now these days on the internet. A lot of, I just had a guy, he messaged me and, he said, I'm a truth seeker and all this stuff. And he said, and I like to practice magic. And I said, oh, well, that's not going to be real consistent with the Kundalini that I'm given to present to people. And he says, why not? Magic could be good too. There's good magic and black magic. And he says, I'm being called to practice both ends of that spectrum, which means black magic too. And no, absolutely not. And we're infiltrated with, and we're inundated, I should say, with people wanting to manipulate other people for their own self-satisfaction, for being able to get another edge on another person, to really accentuate their competitive urges. Just like, gosh, I want that raise at work, but yet there's that other guy. He wants to get that raise too, and there's only one raise to go around. So, okay, all right. Dark demons of the universe, I want you to attack that man so he'll be calling in sick, and then I get to have the raise. This type of shit, which people do. I know, I make it sound like a cartoon, and somehow I put an accent on there. But still, you know, this is the dross. Cream must rise through. You know, I don't know if you've heard the saying that the cream always rises to the top, right? That when you're working with cow milk. God, how did I get on the cow milk? When you're working on the cow milk, and you're manipulating the cow milk in order to get the cream. Well, the cream will always rise to the top, and then, you know, that's an analogy for the purity will rise to the top. The best and the most pure and the richest and the healthiest aspects will rise to the top. But as it's rising, it's got to go through all the impurities, and it's got to go through all of the dross, all of the stuff that isn't good, and not have that impurity affect you. This is exactly what you're doing here by embracing the Kundalini and wanting to learn about the Kundalini. So that's about it. That I doing the practice, doing the safeties practice, is about the cream rising to the top. That's exactly what it does. And I'm not quite sure if it's about churning butter or not, so I'm going to have to ask my co-host this. She is the support of this show. She has given this show the power to exist, and it's an honor to have her here every Wednesday as we present this program for the benefit of all. And so I'd like to introduce her right now. Santara Kundalini, hello.
Hello, everybody, again. Butter churning, Chrism. I am not an agricultural lady, so I'm not too sure about the analogy. I remember.
Well, you live, but you have a house that's right next to a dairy, so you should know these things.
I do. I do. Oh, I curse the noise of that dairy, but anyway. It's for those of you who aren't by a dairy, so it's really out in the country, and I'm listening to the birds, and, you know, it's early in the morning or late in the afternoon, and it's so peaceful, and the next thing I hear,
oh yes, the pumps,
on and on
the
and
pumps.
on.
Yes.
So that's not good. But we used to always say the cream rises to the top, because long ago, before cartons and, you know, all these plastic bottles, we used to get our milk delivered in glass bottles. And in those days, when the milk bottles were sitting outside the front door, of course, the cream used to rise to the top. They'd be delivered at dawn, and we'd go out for them maybe at 7:30 or 8 o'clock for breakfast, and we'd bring in the milk, and we used to have to bring it in really carefully, because from the time that the milkman put down the cream bottles, they were untouched, and the cream rose to the top, and there was always a bit of a competition in our house as to who was going to get the cream over their porridge, because you'd get
porridge.
maybe a good inch. Yeah.
The fact that you even have porridge. Amelia, can you back off of that microphone? You're kind of blowing out the mic a little bit, and the words are fragmenting. You know what I mean?
Okay. I do? Is that better?
I don't know.
Is
I mean,
better?
I still feel the words getting distorted. It's probably happening to me too. So I mean, God knows. Check on the chat room. Maybe they'll be able to
okay,
delineate
guys,
that for us.
in the chat room, how are my words and the volume and the words coming out okay, or are they fragmented? So maybe somebody would just type that there, because sometimes Chrism and I hear each other differently to how it's heard in the chat room. So,
right,
Michelle
and how
or
it's being
Andrew
recorded
or
too.
Or sounds good at the moment, Michelle is saying.
All
so,
right.
okay,
Good.
maybe it's you, Chrism, there. So if it changes, guys, please leave us know in the chat room. We'd appreciate it.
Are you talking on your phone?
Yeah, I do every week. There's nothing different with me. Same headphones, same distance from my mouth, everything.
Okay.
Same position on the sofa.
All right. Well, I'm going to go over here to the first question we have here, and this will be to Tyra. Miss Tyra Banks, hello. You're on the program with Chrism.
Hey, Chrism.
How may I help you?
Hi.
Hi.
Tyra is correct. The Banks house. How are you?
Hi. Maybe it's just me. Everybody's sound is distorted for some reason. I don't know why. Can you speak slower, Tyra?
Sure. Can you hear me now?
I can still hear you. It's just the sounds are kind of like it sounds like your voice is an organ, and or it's being put through a voice computer machine. Anyway.
So I have like a one or two question like every time. The first one I was thinking, is there any way like you can know what is the level of Kundalini rising in a person just by the experiences that they have, and what is the significance of that level with I'm not sure what's the final goal of Kundalini awakening, the enlightenment or whatever. Like, if somebody feels like when I do meditate, I feel like a constant tingling on the top of my head. And, of course, the spine goes with it. And I really have to, like, scratch or tingle or tap my head. And I'm kind of, my kids observe this, that I'm kind when I'm irritated or really anxious or too much stress, the light bulbs completely break, the wire circuits break, the wires burn out. And I don't want that to happen.
Well, so you're asking me why the Kundalini is affecting your appliances?
No, what I'm asking is what is my level of development, right? According to the Kundalini, because we have a long path to go, right? And I realized this, that I have Kundalini only a year and a half ago. It was spontaneous. Maybe it was rising in me, and I did not know over the years.
Well, I mean, is it going to make any difference?
No, but I just don't know what is the path.
Well, yeah, I can tell you
straight up.
I can tell you straight up right now. You have the Kundalini, and it's messing with your appliances. And the stronger that you are inside of your practice, which you should be doing, the more stabilized the expression can become. The more stable the expression, it may be the more appliances get burned out. I mean, you're just going to have to deal with some of this stuff. I have a stack of laptops and phones that have been damaged by the Kundalini. So you know what? It's just something you got to deal with. You got to replace the light bulb.
Right.
You can't go like, well, God, is the Kundalini worth it if it's burning out my light bulbs? I mean, come on.
No, I keep telling, because, in a way it feels so good that, you are so blessed with something so rare and unique, and you feel like, oh, my God, I'm one of the very few lucky ones on the planet. So I always keep denying that, no, it's not me. And then my daughter says, how many times you're going to make up excuses? I'm observing those. So you need to stop making excuses.
So your daughter said making up excuses about what? Why the light bulbs are burning out?
Yeah. And she said every time you're and not only that, 2 days ago I meditated.
Why are you hiding Kundalini from her?
No, I'm not hiding. She knows it, but I don't want to claim. It feels so great. It's like I'm boosting my ego, and I say, "Oh, I have Kundalini." Now listen.
Well, you only support the ego by, putting yourself in that egotistic frame of mind. Can't you just say, I have Kundalini without going into ego?
But it feels good, right? Of course it makes me feel good. I'm not going to deny that part.
Well, I mean,
And one day she comes and she
I have Kundalini, therefore I am the goddess and the god of all creation.
Yeah, I don't want to go to that route. Actually,
well,
that sounds.
But obviously, but obviously, some part of you wants to go that route.
Right. We all are human. I'm human.
So that's what you need to work on. That's just an egotistical self-aggrandizement type of attitude that I mean, you've only had it for a year and a half, so I give you dispensation for that.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, the longer that you have this, the less important the self-aggrandizement becomes, and it becomes less of a real concern. You don't feel like you can say I have Kundalini and not like all of a sudden have to
No, that's
put your angel's wings.
No.
Put your angel's wings out and fly a few feet off the floor. You can just say, yeah, I got Kundalini, and then move on with the conversation.
Right. No, that's why I never try to bring it up. It's that she brings me up. Like the other day, she came to me and she was like, "Did you meditate last night?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Yeah, this morning the light bulb was on, and we have remote things. The light was off in the morning."
But the other thing is that light bulbs burn out anyway. It's not always that you're going to go, oh, well, because I have Kundalini,
exactly.
well, that light bulb obviously was affected by the Kundalini. No. You've got to just kind of get over this. Get over the issue with the appliances.
Right.
Get over the issue with the self-aggrandizement. Don't keep going there. Don't like puff out your chest and start preening your feathers and go, yes.
No, I don't do that. I don't even bring it up. That's what I'm saying. That when my kids bring it up, I try to kind of downplay. But the other thing I wanted to ask
Can I say something? Can I interrupt?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Can I say something just from my own experience in the early days as well? That I came to realize that when you deny Kundalini, when you sort of don't say anything at all, that is also an expression of ego, because somewhere in there is the belief, at least it was with me, that I didn't want anybody thinking that I was blowing my own trumpet by saying that I had Kundalini. So I wouldn't say anything, but it was really about I didn't want them thinking that I thought I was great. And that was a kind of a reverse form of ego, which was actually not good either. So sometimes when we go into a place and we say, well, I don't want to be saying it's Kundalini because I don't self-aggrandize. That's true, but also you must watch, is it a reverse sort of a thing that you're not saying just casually, as Chrism said, yes, I have Kundalini, because you don't want to deal with other people's perceptions of you, and your ego doesn't like that. Does that ring any bells, Tyra?
I understand some part. It's hard for me to understand the whole thing,
Okay.
It's, I think, too deeper level of a psychological analysis, and maybe I'm not there yet. So I'm not able to understand, but I really appreciate you sharing this with me.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, the longer you have it, the more you understand, and I'm just gonna suggest to you that everybody has the Kundalini. You're not any special or any more special than your daughter or the guy on the street or the person in the grocery store that you're standing behind. Everybody has the Kundalini. Not everybody has it in the activated or awakened state. The more you understand that, the less self-aggrandizement people come into. It's also part of the culture too, the culture you're raised with. It's like, if you're from India or you have any kind of a resonance with the Indian culture, they rightfully so hold Kundalini in extremely high esteem, and if you've been raised with that type of an understanding that boom, all of a sudden you have the Kundalini, well, then all of a sudden it's very easy. It's a very easy step for a person to go into self-aggrandizement because, oh my God, I literally have that the God consciousness awakening within me, and it is so rare and so beautiful. But
that's why I don't want to blow my own thing, and when my kids bring it up to me, I don't want to oh yeah, it's me, yeah, it's me.
Tyra, if you don't want to blow your own horn, then don't blow it. Just saying that you have the Kundalini is not necessarily blowing your own horn unless your intention is that way.
Yeah.
It's your intention that matters.
Right. That's true.
So if you don't have the intention
as well, that perception, Chrism, that if you say that you have Kundalini, you are blowing your own horn. So if you believe that people who say they have Kundalini are blowing their own horn, well, then you're going to feel that way about yourself. So it's interesting to look at that as well, Tyra, I think. What's your feeling about people who just mention, yeah, I have Kundalini? Do you feel that they're self-aggrandizing by just mentioning it?
I think it's such a rare phenomenon, and I don't also want people to freak out, and they don't understand also. That's why I try to avoid the discussion at all. That's what I try to do. I avoid the discussion of it because people can think you are crazy, or if you go in a certain culture, like what Chrism said, if you're in Indian, when you talk with Indian people, they'll feel, oh my God, look at her, she's bragging about it,
but she's not.
But she's not. But that's not how it is perceived. That's why I try not to.
Who cares what they think?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
that's
why I'm
just
like, okay,
egotism.
this is my personal thing. I don't have to go out and tell everybody that this is this because of this. I just try to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, I mean, and with your child, I don't think your child is going to think that you're blowing your own horn if you're not. I mean, it's a definite choice to brag. Yeah. It is a definite choice, a personality, ego-based choice that I'm going to, hey, I've got the Kundalini. Now, I may be blowing it up a little bit, but, yes, well, I've got the Kundalini and I can basically do anything. I've got the power of God at my fingertips. And I just want you to know that so that you can feel really, really small. It's definitely a choice that a person makes to self-aggrandize, and if you're not making that choice, and you got nothing to worry about, and if just by mentioning the word Kundalini that you might have the Kundalini and that makes people think a certain way, that's on them. That's not on you. That's on them and the culture. The culture is supporting that too. It's like in India, if you say you have the Kundalini, then basically you're putting yourself in the equality with a saint.
Yeah, you're on a pedestal. That's
right. You're on a pedestal.
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, by having Kundalini, you are on a pedestal anyway.
Right. That's exactly why I don't talk about it, because it's like I'm putting myself up on the pedestal, and I don't want to do that.
Well,
yeah.
Like I say, even with the Kundalini, self-aggrandizement is a choice that a person makes.
Right.
You choose to self-aggrandize. You don't, if you just say, yeah, I have the Kundalini in the activated awakened state for a year and a half, that's not self-aggrandizing. I don't feel it. I don't hear it. I don't hear it in that. If others do, well, that's on them.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they'll want you to prove it. So, well, let me see you fly. Come on, fly now.
Exactly.
Fly!
Then I have to call Chrism or Centura.
But it's an opportunity as well. If you want it, and you might not want it, but it is an opportunity as well to be to say, well, no, actually, it's not like that. I don't fly. You can educate people a little bit too. But you mightn't want to, but I'm just saying that's an opportunity to correct, mistaken things about Kundalini, I feel.
Right on. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you feel the Kundalini is kind of pulling you in that direction to start teaching people what it is, what it isn't.
Oh my God, that's a
yeah.
I'll leave it up to you.
But Tyra, you need to look inside. Look in the mirror. Look inside yourself, and ask yourself: do I have the intention to self-aggrandize? Ask yourself honestly, and if you don't, then don't worry about it. If you do, then correct it.
Okay, that's good. Now, one little thing: the tingling in the head, is it the opening of the sahasrara or something else?
Say again.
The tingling on the head, on the skull, like top part of your head.
Yeah.
Is that the opening of the sahasrara, or is something else?
That's the energy flowing out of the fontanelle. That's what it is. Now, I don't know if you said something in Sanskrit there. My speaker didn't pick that up.
So I was talking about sahasrara, which is the topmost chakra, which is this
right. Yeah,
right.
That's part of that. It's part of that.
Okay.
It's not. When you look at the crown chakra, shall we just say in English?
Right.
If you look at the crown chakra, it's not a singular functioning unit. It is a multiple functioning unit. You have what they call the 1,000-petaled lotus, when in fact it's actually a lot more than 1,000. Mm-hmm. But you have, we'll just use their term, the 1,000-petaled lotus. Each petal has its own job to do. So it's not just the crown chakra and you just, put the crown on your head and there you go. Mm-hmm. Not that at all. Each of the 1,000 petals has a unique job to do within the awakening aspect of the Kundalini. And so, if you're feeling a tingling on top of your head, well, some of the petals are releasing energy through the fontanelle at the top of the head. Mm. And you're allowed to feel that. It's a point of education, too. It's like, oh, okay, all right. It's also referred to from the rishis like a head dancer. Mm. It should feel like, you're having a small little person dance on the top of your head. It does feel that way sometimes, and sometimes it just feels like you say, like tingly, and the energy is like emanating out of the fontanelle. So, and the fontanelle is a Latin word meaning fountain. The energy literally does fountain of the crown chakra. Okay. That is part of the feeling.
Wow, that's great.
All right, and thank you, my dear. Thank you for calling.
Both of you. Thank you.
Because you covered areas that other people are asking about, and these are the people that'll be listening in the archives. These are the future people. Ladies and gentlemen, when you ask a question on this program, you help a lot more than just yourself. I'll guarantee you that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, thank you.
Your question today, Tara, is somebody else's tomorrow. So it's really cool. I love when people come on and ask questions because not only does it help you, it helps so many others. It's really great. And you have another question, Chrism, there when you're ready.
All right, coming down to it. Thank you, Tyra, putting you in the blue. And coming down here to Indra. And slowly but surely, making my way to Indra here. Hi, Indra.
Hi, Chrism.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
I'm well, thank you. I got two questions.
Sure, go ahead.
About what you were talking about. So, okay, the weather is getting better, and I upped my spiritual practices. I'm outside more. I'm on the earth. I'm lying down. I'm doing stuff like that. But this is my concern. Am I going to build up Kundalini energy Like, Chrism, look, I want balance, okay? Who doesn't? But with the spiritual practices, because I have to ground. I feel like I have to ground. I crave the earth. I need the earth. I crave it. I just feel better when I do it. Am I going to build up spiritual Kunalini energy like tons?
No, you're not going to do a thing.
Okay, is the Kundalini going?
It's going to build up within you by itself. You're just going to hold yourself in specific levels of mindset and thinking and attitude, sacredness and devotion that allows that energy to build up tremendously powerful. And then you're going to explode like a firework. And the little sparks are going to land, on the street and the sidewalk and somebody's backyard pool that they haven't been maintaining,
right.
like that.
So, but am I going to hit balance? I don't know if it's if that should be my focus or not, but what do you think?
Balance will eventually come to you as she downloads information into you. You will have balance by virtue of the power that information holds. Okay, for you to desire balance is perhaps not the best way to go. What you really want to do is you want to work on the 5 bodies of expression. So you want to balance those areas first through self-correction. So you balance the emotional body through forgiveness, okay, and tolerance. Tolerance and forgiveness. You got to be able to put up with people's shit, right?
That was kind of like my second question.
Right. You've got to forgive them and you've got to tolerate it because it's not going to all come from one person. It's going to come from a bunch of different people. You've got to remember we're walking around with people wearing diapers. And they're going to spread that shit. It's going to come leaking out of the diaper areas on the person. And you're going to have to, step over it or step around it or actively clean it up.
Right.
It's like me. It's like me right now. I've got this little dog. This little dog. Her name is Ishta.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really difficult to house train her. And so I'm stepping around the shit. It's the same thing with people that are not active or awakened with the Kundalini. You've got to step around their shit. You've got to tolerate it. You've got to clean it up. You've got to be forgiving and of this. You can't hold a grudge because you stepped into somebody's shit in the morning, barefoot,
right,
squished up between your toes. You've got to go, oh,
right.
You've got to do that. I mean, geez, it's like walking. It's like literally like living with 2-year-olds. And so the scenario is that if you're walking through your life with forgiveness, nothing can ever hurt you. Nothing can ever harm you. Forgiveness and tolerance go hand in hand. If you're forgiving enough, you become tolerant automatically.
Right.
And nobody can say something to you that ticks you off because you're forgiving.
Yes.
You hear them say, Indra, geez, man, you've got some really gnarly body odor here. Come on, man. Have you heard of a shower? And you're just forgiving them. You're just like, yes, thank you. And you just move on. I mean, your forgiveness is a shield of protection that does not allow egotistic arrows to penetrate you.
Yeah. Well, Chrism, I won't even react because I'm telling you, I'm too spaced out to react. The thing, if somebody says something to me like that.
Well, no, I know you well enough that I know that, you'll react. You'll feel it. But it's okay. It's okay because hopefully you'll be able to self-correct yourself enough into the program of instantaneous forgiveness.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. So can I take that a step further?
Yep.
There is a certain person who had the Kundalini for like about a month, and I was very excited for the person, so I added the person to your group, and very excited that can have like a good support system going on. And I find that it's been a month for that person, and she calls me, but it's always like competition type thing. And I'm really, really irritated, like to a point where I don't even want to answer a phone call. And I want to know, like, how do you deal with that? Is that ego? What is that? Like, it's so overdone. It's annoying.
Well, it just goes back to what we were just talking about.
Yes. So I gave you the.
So you just forgive her, and you don't. Nothing says that you have to answer the phone call either. There's no
right.
Law written on the Kundalini. That says, "Oh, thou must answer thine phone whenever it rings."
Right.
You can just kind of like, let it go.
Yeah.
There's nothing saying that you have to go into competition with her.
Like, it's an aggressive personality, and it's like an aggressive competition. And I'm like, most of the times I don't even want to. I'm in my own world. But it happened so many times that it was irritating. And I'm thinking,
you're surrounded with aggressive personalities. Really, you got to look at where people are coming from. I mean, they're raised in a society that is basically expressive of the law of the jungle. The strong survive. And it's not just muscular strength, it's personality strength. It's the strength of the mind, the strength of the ego. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. I mean, in this society, competition places you above and below other people. And you just got to step outside of that competition. And it's not just her, it's going to be the people that you're driving with on the freeway. Someone cuts you off. Well, they're this is where the whole road rage thing comes from, right?
Yes.
And so you just don't want to buy into it. You just back up, let them come in. Same with this woman. If she wants to self-aggrandize, you just back up and let her self-aggrandize, and don't let her ask any questions like that to me, because I'm just going to set her straight with it. But you might be able to gently set her straight about self-aggrandizement as well.
I mean, I did
Maybe
try.
not.
Like, this person is forcing me to say things. Like, come on, I phone you. When I'm stuck, I phone you. Like, and, she's been going through it for a month, and I think she's kind of like putting my back up against the wall where she wants me to tell, the rest of the family she is awake and she's got Kundalini. That's not my thing. That's not my place. That's not my call. It's been a month. I'm saying be patient. You just started. And it really got, there's a family member, and it got so annoying. And I really love this person. Like, I really do, right? I grew up with her. And I don't want to lose a good relation. I don't want to lose a relationship over it. But I don't want to lie either. It doesn't feel good.
That's your choice. That's your choice. I mean, the scenario is if you're forgiving enough, you're automatically tolerant enough. And if you could see her as a person that is literally like a 2-year-old, or I should say maybe a 1-month-old, inside of the Kundalini, going from the mundane world and then, segueing into the Kundalini world, she's got her priorities mixed up right now because she's still operating from the mundane competitive standpoint, law of the jungle.
Right.
And she's being thrust into the Kundalini, which is it amplifies things. And so right now, she's in that amplification state. So she's amplifying the law of the jungle instead of levels of forgiveness. But I'm sure that when she feels forgiving, that is also being amplified. And you're just going to have to be tolerant of her and forgiving of her. And don't allow her growing pains to cause you pain.
Right. Okay, I got you. I appreciate that. Honestly, it I do have peace about it. No, like when people ask me about Kunalini, like on a personal level, I would say this. I had a unique experience in meditation, and that's as far as it goes because I know they won't understand. I know that it's probably going to push people away. I don't. So when I'm asked that question on a personal level, I would say I had a unique experience in meditation. End of story.
Well, okay. That's fine. That's truth.
Yeah.
Can I say something, guys?
Yes.
That's the truth.
And just a suggestion about the friend, because I've kind of been in a similar situation too, and it
a
can
family
be good
member
to answer to that. No, not a family member, but somebody.
No, for me it
close.
is.
For you it is, yes, I know.
Yes.
So it's somebody that is in your life anyway, and it's somebody
Right.
who knows that you have Kundalini, and
Yes.
so in a way you are an example for the person. So, how you will say convey yourself. So if you answer the phone and you pick up that phone, there's two things can happen. You can also let, we'll say, her aggression or the way she is be the very thing that helps you to practice your own forgiveness. It can be like a catalyst for your own practice of forgiveness and tolerance.
I gotcha.
So that, like exactly what Chrism is saying. She's young, very young in it, but she can be a catalyst for you. So she can be
to work on my ego, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
For your forgiveness and your tolerance. And then by you doing that without having to, do much else, it'll be really good for you. And it'll be an example to her too of tolerance and forgiveness. And down the road, a little bit further, you might be able to talk about that to her, But you for yourself, that's be a practice for you. And then you're killing kind of two birds with one stone. You're assisting her. And
I kind of sort of started doing that. I would work on my ego, then I'd let it go and be annoyed. Then I'll work on my ego, and then because I kind of figured out the Kundalini brought that in my path to work on my ego. Look at it, to look at myself.
Yeah.
Then I'll do it. I'll let it go. I'll go back to being annoyed. Then I'll work on it. Then I'll go back to being annoyed. So it's kind of like
that sounds
pull and push.
It's what Chrism said. Self-correction, and you'll find, if you keep at it, that the self-correction comes quicker and quicker. There'll be a much smaller gap between the annoyance and the forgiveness, so that eventually, just like Chrism is saying, it's hardly perceivable then, the difference. The minute you feel the irritation or the intolerance, you're immediately in the forgiveness, and it becomes seamless, after a while. But it does take practice,
helps,
doesn't it? I mean, yeah.
So it's like, oh yes, I forgive you, my child. Yes, especially if it's a family member. Oh yes.
It's as much forgiveness for yourself too,
Yes.
It's forgiveness for yourself too, though. It's forgiving your own intolerance,
Come on.
And
give me some airy fairy, Amelia. Airy fairy. Come on, let me hear
it.
it.
You what?
Airy fairy.
Say again?
Airy
fairy.
Yes. Let me hear you say it that way.
I don't know.
You're in the land of the fairies, for crying out loud. Okay, all right, I'll shut up.
Oh, yeah. But anyway, so the forgiveness is yourself as well. I often have to forgive myself first because I get mad,
Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you, Santara.
Thank you, Santara. Thank you, Chrism.
Bye, Indra.
Okay, and we're going over here, and I don't know if Kathy B has a question. Kathy B, do you have a question?
Well, actually, I didn't, but
I've enjoyed talking. Hi, Samara, too. Let me think if I can come up with one.
Well, no. This
Pardon?
is your first time on the show, I think.
No, I spoke to you.
Yeah,
no,
I just wanted to.
She's been on before. Kathy has been here before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you have a question, just to put that question mark up there like the other folks have done, okay?
Right. Okay. Well, I'm enjoying your show, and I'm looking forward to hopefully you moving towards the East Coast. So.
Where are you at now?
North Carolina. But
Isn't
weren't
that
you
on
talking?
the East Coast?
Well, yeah. Yeah, you guys were
She's
talking
looking
about
forward to you.
looking at property.
Oh, I see. I thought, yeah. Actually, looking in North Carolina. Actually, yeah, we're North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia, somewhere in those areas.
Yeah.
I want to become a Kundalini hillbilly.
Well,
that how it works.
Right. Well, no, it's exciting that you're coming this way because when you guys find your land and open up for visitors, I would like to visit.
Interestingly enough, I think Bo's not on right now, but he was on, and he is over there right now, as well as other people we're actively looking for that land, and we are specifically looking in North Carolina. I did a little research last night, and I live in California, and California didn't really have any major wars. They had Indian slaughter like almost every other state, but they didn't have as much, shall we say, blood soaking the ground as the East Coast has. And so I did a little research in the North Carolina's involvement in the Civil War. And it's fairly limited compared to some of the other states. I think you had one battle there, and North Carolina was reticent to even be a part of the whole war, as far as I understand. So what my research is saying. And so that bodes well. That bodes well because there are other forces in the Appalachians. It's a very spiritual area, but it's been inundated by certain matrices of negativity that are excited periodically through time. Let me give you an example. In Pennsylvania, where they had that huge battle, right? The what's it called? The Gettysburg, right?
Right.
Right above Gettysburg, there's something that's called the Devil's Den. And even before the white people came to this continent, the Crow Indians recognized that area as being a real point of negativity. So much so that they even had a war where a great number of people within the Indian nations there at the time were slaughtered as well. And then, lo and behold, here come the white people, and the same area, constitutes this major slaughter of, to me, innocence. I mean, people, God, Anyway, so I'm looking into these areas, and I also know of the lights that are in the Appalachians, and these lights will follow a person, and they can have an interaction with these points of light in the Appalachians that aren't always positive. And so I'm looking because I'm going to have people there that are Kundalini awakened, Kundalini activated, and great points of radiance also develop great points of what we would call anti-radiance, right? Negativity. And so I want to, I've already put pillars of light all through the East Coast, doing my best to mitigate a lot of what the Civil War produced, and the Revolutionary War as well. And so I'm doing my best to purify these areas for the introduction of great levels of Kundalini radiance into the area. And for some reason, North Carolina just seems to be falling into that. There are also other areas within the Appalachians that are housing intelligence that people don't know about yet. People don't understand. There's everything from giants to really mythological, magical types of intelligence that are also on a time type of, how do I say it? They would be in hibernation for a certain amount of time, and so there's that to deal with as well. We're looking for like 10 or 15 to 20 acres, and if you have any information about, as you know, because you have the Kundalini, let us know. Drop me a private email, if you will, and let me know what it's like to live in North Carolina. I was watching a TV series last night just to try to get some background information on it. Mm-hmm. It was horrible. It was the worst show I could have absolutely watched. It was horrible. It's called Durham. The show is called Durham. And, oh, my God, it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I won't be watching that again.
Right. Well, no, there's different areas. I just live in a very conservative area just outside of Charlotte. And
yet you have Kundalini. How do you handle that amongst your conservative Southern Belle friends?
I keep my mouth shut, and which isn't easy for me to do. But
it's a smart move, though. Smart move.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're just they're good people, but they're not very open-minded. And so I don't know for how long I'm going to choose to be here. I have, I don't know. But North Carolina.
Maybe you'll move to the northeast of the state. What do you think?
Well, there's possibility.
Northwest.
Yeah. No, I sort of understood. No, that's always a possibility. There are some limitations, but no, that's why I would come up, to see where you guys, were at, because I think the land is very important, and this is sort of private, but who cares? I had a dream one time, and I won't go into the detail of it, but it was probably a month or two before I became aware of you online and the information you were giving. And there's one part of my, pardon? And I believe it, and I believe it, in my dream I was sort of like, how did this happen? It's like, and I never really saw your face and recognized it. But I was in a very small group with a very small group of people, and I am going to leave a little bit of it out. But at the end, if that was you, that was the leader of the group, you had given me a ring and on my left hand, and I had all 5 fingers had silver rings, and the one ring seemed to be, it had symbols on it, and you were if it was you, or I really thought it was an aspect of me I was merging with, but this ring had symbols on it, and you were very, or the person was very fascinated, and pleased in showing these symbols that were on this ring, and so would you know?
What was it, a red
no,
ring?
Actually. No, I believe that they were silver, and on my marriage ring finger, I had an emerald, and for some reason, I associated the dream with Ireland, connection there, and...
Are you Irish? Do you have the Irish in you?
No, I have strong connections with lifetimes there in Ireland.
Sure.
So definitely.
The funny thing is that you mentioned the rings that came to you in the dream. Is for the private students, there are 2 rings that I suggest that they wear, and the silver ring is typically on the left hand, and it is on the marriage finger of the left hand that represents the marriage to the sacred feminine. And on the right hand, they will have a golden ring, and that will also be on the same, marriage finger, so to speak, on the right hand. And and typically I have that as blue. There's a deep cobalt blue glass or gem or whatever that would be in that right finger ring, and that represents sacred masculine. And on the left hand, I typically have a deep, deep, dark blood red crystalline stone that represents, Shakti. And where they meet, if you hold your hands straight out like you're a cross, where they meet is that emerald heart chakra. That is where they meet, is in the heart chakra. And typically, that turns into a very deep purple. And the purple is represented at the top of the 7th chakra, of the crown chakra. That's the royal color. That's why you see a lot of the royals are wearing purple in the ancient times, because that represents the ascended nature, the ascended human nature. So the fact that you're wearing rings and the fact that you're wearing silver rings would indicate my Kundalini reaching into your dream.
Okay, because there were, I never wear a lot of jewelry, and so it was odd that I had rings on each finger and that they had symbols on them, and I was having to remove the silver one with the emerald to put the one that you gave me onto the left finger. Interesting. Yeah. I'm going to ask Santara to come in on this conversation. Santara, what do you have to say about this?
Well, I think that is a really interesting dream, Kathy. And the ring, I think that might be very demonstrative of your connection. I mean, after that, then you found the group, didn't you, and Chrism's teachings. So that's probably not a coincidence. And the red ruby ring on the left hand side. So you had the green emerald. You had to take that off and put another ring on the marriage finger. Yeah, that's really interesting and very, very symbolic. And
that's a very profound dream.
It is hugely so, and connected to Chrism, without a doubt, I feel.
And the fact that you're already in North Carolina, and we're looking in North Carolina, you've got to start adding up the spiritual arithmetic here.
Oh, you absolutely do.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a progression of information that is really powerful. It's very strong. I have right now, I have 2 rings, provided for me by Santara, that represent, these exact qualities. The fact I can't wear the blue one because I have to find a way to size it up. But, these, this is very important stuff. This is, and I think what's happening with you, Kathy, is that she's asking you to take off the mundane marriage and to accept the divine marriage. And that doesn't mean that you're leaving your husband or anything like that. It's just that
I'm not married. Yeah, I've lived mostly my own. Yeah. No, it was just that all.
Go ahead.
Do you think that the 5 different rings are like that? I guess I had 4 at first, and they were, all silver with symbols on them, and you had given me the one, and you were showing it to people, and you were really excited because you were pointing out a particular symbol that was on the one ring that you had just given me.
Right.
And there was some kind, and I cannot recall the exact symbol, but
what do you recall?
But anyway,
what do you recall of it?
Well, it seemed like it was say the 11 with squiggles on the top.
The one that is 2 and the 2 that is 1. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was sort of, what it was. So,
the fact that you're talking about rings in the dream at all, and that the silver rings at all that are on the left hand, and that they have symbolism, and that you're in a small group of people, and that somebody with some sort of a resemblance to me or to the teachings I give is coming to you, and the fact that you're already in North Carolina, and geez, that's more than enough to make the connection.
Right. Well, I had just wondered if the other rings were a symbol of completion, of circles, or, completion, that I had done.
Not completions. Maybe completion from a mundane area. You have to remember that you were asked to take off the one ring and to put the ring that I was giving you on.
Right.
And that represents like a graduation, you might say.
Mhm.
And
okay.
Santara, you had something to add, I believe.
Well, I was just going to say we had a lovely Kundalini gentleman, Kathy from Charlotte. He has died since, but he accompanied us to John of God, and he was from Charlotte. And I remember him saying that it was a fairly conservative place. But I'm just saying there was another gentleman living there, and he had Kundalini as well. And Bo was actually on the group there. And Andrew in the chat room said, I love the mountains of North Carolina. 25 years ago, I spent a couple of months camping and living off the land about an hour outside of Asheville. And Bo said, nice. There are at least 2 places outside of Asheville we will see. So just to let you know that, because you're not here on the chat room with us. So, yeah.
Right. Now, I've been real excited about it, and I know that there were people telling me you'll like him, but to be honest, when I first started this, or I had the dream, I really thought that I was integrating a lifetime of mine from Ireland. But and then so and I was just sort of but it was so once I started listening to Chrism, it led me to realize that this was the dream and not an integration that I was doing within myself. So okay, well, no, I look forward, and I'm sure that you'll be coming to North Carolina too, right?
Well, I'll certainly be visiting when the community get going, without a doubt. I mean, I'm very excited about it because it's a blessing that Bo has come to us and is doing this from his Shakti. I mean, it's incredible, really. There are so many wonderful aspects to it, and that, Chrism will be going there, and other people. It's just amazing to me, and I'll certainly will be visiting.
Right,
wow.
And Santara, are we off the main program? Is that what you?
No, we're on it.
Oh, okay. Well, just remember that we're speaking to people. Okay.
You're speaking to millions.
Millions.
We're broadcasting out. So,
yeah. They're talking to you.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
And I just want to say that Bo is once again, he is listening on there, and he says, laying out the travel map, as Santara quoted him. And so, it sounds like things are starting to really to come together here. And I was reading, I'm reading Vicky. Vicky says, since we're talking about dreams, I had this dream. I was very pregnant, and Chrism came to help me and directed her somewhere. And then the next thing she sees are two guys taking two babies, and they don't know if they were my babies. However, I followed them, and I saw from a place above, watching them taking the babies into a river and watching them dunk the babies under the water. Then they would bring them up, and they would take a breath and pop something into their mouths and then dunk them and swirl them around under the water. Well, interestingly enough, the first thing that I'm being given with this is that it's like a John the Baptist type of thing. And I've been accused of this before. Of having certain qualities that would resonate with John the Baptist. The river is literally the Kundalini. The Kundalini flows like a river in many ways. And Vicky continues. She says, the water and I came in close, and scene one was not doing so well. So one of the babies was not doing so well and seemed lifeless. And it disturbed me. And then I left and woke up. One guy with a child was someone from high school, of which I haven't seen or heard anything from and can't even remember. And so taking the babies into a river and watching them dunk the babies under the water, and then they would bring them up, and they would take a breath and pop something into their mouths and then dunk them and swirl them around under the water. This is more of a Kundalini type of symbolism that I'm seeing here. Chrisming them, it's like a christening or like a baptism into the Kundalini, and swirling them around is another symbol of the Kundalini as well. Like a whirlpool, or like a hurricane, or like a tornado, swirling them around in the water. So swirling them around into the Kundalini and bringing the Kundalini into them, and then pop something into their mouths and dunking some more. Popping something into the mouth really is indicative of nourishment, of assistance, and it has something to do with the assisting them in being able to effectuate whatever level of Kundalini that is being given into them at that time. And one was not doing so well and seemed lifeless. And seeming lifeless isn't exactly being lifeless. There's a lot of components to that dream, Vicky, that does not lend itself to a formal, mundane interpretation of the dream. The child was not dead, but it seemed like it was not doing so well, and seemed lifeless. And even though it seemed, it's like you're never lifeless, you're being dunked into the Kundalini. Just sometimes it takes longer to accept the energy, to find the balance, as we're talking with Indra, within the energy. And it takes a level of stillness to do that. And the child would necessarily be still. It would be still, not like a stillborn, but still in the sense that it's processing the energy. And the fact that there are two guys doing this, that represents sacred masculine. Sacred masculine. And I think you even said they came down. They came down. Let me see if you said that. I see it. Two guys in which I haven't seen her, and I can't remember. I'm getting mixed up here. There's different things people are posting. But, yeah, they would definitely have come up out of the water and then down back into the water. And that would be the sacred masculine. Popping something into their mouth, was it a pill? It's hard to see here now.
She doesn't say what it is unless if you know, Vicky.
It pops something into the mouth. Right, yeah. Right. And swim and dunk them and swirl them around under. Yeah, okay.
Something like a nugget, she says. Chicken nugget.
You know the first thing that comes to me when I read the word nugget is a gold nugget. It's the first thing that comes to me. And I don't know if that resonates with Vicky at all, but that's the first thing that comes to me. And it's just another level of ingesting the Kundalini. So, Vicky, I want to know if you have kids. Let me know.
And Chrism,
yeah.
While she's going to type that, what would the significance of one of the men from her background of when she was in high school that she hasn't thought about since? Would there be a significance in that?
I think the significance would be that person probably had strong spiritual qualities that even he was not aware of at the time. And so she would not have been aware of it. So now we're, I hesitate to get into some deeply personal areas with Vicky, and I won't on the air. But there are some other areas that I could explore with that if she wants. And so, Vicky, if you want to private email me, I'll be happy to go into that further with you. And let's see. That's a very, very cool dream, by the way, Vicky. Very cool. Very good. And it says something about your daughter as well. And so here we go. Manisha says, Dear Chrism, do you know which day you will arrive in Karlsruhe? One person would like to have a private session with you before the group. Yeah, I'll be taking off on Monday and landing somewhere, I guess, there in Karlsruhe on Sunday, and I'll be landing Monday. In Copenhagen, I'll be spending like 5 hours in Copenhagen just to get really stoned and drunk and high on drugs that are illegal there. And then flying off to Karlsruhe, it's like, really high. And then I'll be getting picked up there at the airport, I believe. We're just renting there. And then driving on. Manisha says, "Ha ha."
Maybe you need to talk to her because that tells her nothing. She needs to probably.
Well, I'll be landing in. I think is it Dusseldorf?
But you're going traveling, aren't you? Are you going traveling first?
No, really. I'll just no. Well, no. I mean, I'll be going straight up to Karlsruhe because I want to see Manisha. I would like to travel up to Cologne to visit Vincent, as people in our audience might recognize Vincent. Atlanta Seeker for sure would recognize him, and I think Michelle would, and Pandananda, Vicky. So I want to see how Vincent is doing. I had an interesting experience with Vincent just the other day, just to talk about it a little bit. Vincent called me up on Skype, and I started chatting with him on Skype. And I immediately needed to vomit. I was getting this incredible urge to vomit. And, I don't know if anybody has it, but when a certain kind of vomit includes a lot of salivation. There's you super salivate before you give the old hee-ho, right? And, and right in the middle of the conversation, the super salivating started, and I was going, wow, where the hell is this coming from? And I forget what I was eating, but it was in the morning for me, so I think I was having some sort of a banana or something like that, and I never vomit, ladies and gentlemen, except when I do ayahuasca. I never, ever, ever vomit. I don't like it. I have a thing with it. And but I started heading over to the sink because I knew I wasn't going to make it to the toilet, right? You know, and I'm starting to do. I know. I'm starting to do the old hee-ho, and in the process, I had hung up with Vincent, said, "Oh, Vincent, I gotta go." So
oh my God!
I'm there, and immediately it started to die down. As soon as I hung up with him, and it was a shamanic cleansing of Vincent that was occurring that I didn't know of at the time. In many cultures, the shamans will vomit the energy they collect from an individual out of their own body. So you breathe it in, or it comes into you, and you vomit it out. It comes into you, you vomit it out. And the negativity that Vincent was experiencing was being vomited out of me. So he was being given a healing, and the mundane Chris just didn't recognize it. But the Kundalini Chrism definitely recognized it and initiated it. And so, yeah, I'd like to maybe do some more vomiting for Vincent. So
that would be very cool, though, really. And Manisha's telling you it's 400 kilometers. But
is that a long way?
Yeah, well,
that's not that long, is it? That's like
well, 400 kilometers would probably be, would that be a 2-hour car journey? In my car, it would.
Oh,
would
look,
that be a 2-hour car
journey? She says, I've seen that by ayahuasca shamans, the vomiting when working with people. So that's exactly what occurred. Manisha, I won't be able to have that. This will not. This 4 hours. Oh, please. We're on the Autobahn, baby.
Yeah, I think 400 kilometers. That's 100 kilometers.
Miles an hour.
Yeah, that's only 100 kilometers, Manisha. Like, hello, an hour.
You know,
I mean, how fast can you go?
We're talking renting the Porsche, right? Autobahn.
Yeah, that's why 2 hours, definitely.
So maybe a half an hour in that case. Let's see, Manisha, if you can give me that mobile number on kfireforall@yahoo.com, KFIREFORALL @yahoo.com, you see, and that way I can call you when I'm over there. Maybe. I'm not sure my phone situation will allow me to do that. So
what you can do, I was going to say, you could put it on WhatsApp and you can do it, but you can't because you won't have internet.
I might just get some sort of a Euro chip to put into the phone so that I can make calls. That would be nice.
But you know what you can do as well, Chrism? Go on put the number in your phone and go on WhatsApp with Manisha, and at least when you land and you're in an internet place, you can phone her for free.
Yeah, but they have to have my number, right?
Yeah, but give Manisha your number, and you get hers.
That's an idea. I've been resisting WhatsApp, like I've been resisting the Facebook app for messaging because they want to have access to my entire phone, which I've got people.
Yeah, but I WhatsApp. I WhatsApp with Manisha, and it's fantastic. She was in the UK, she was in Germany, and we can just WhatsApp, and it's free phoning. It's really cool.
Oh, interesting. I'm going to consider that. She's also saying to get a German SIM card in your mobile, and I'm wondering if that would work. Just as long as I don't get charged because
And you'd have to take out your card, and I've seen you being really reluctant to do that before.
Yeah. You're right about that. Hey, is there anything coming up that we should enlighten people about, Centaur? Anything else coming up? Like Manisha's will be finished in June. Are there any other activities coming up or not?
You always there are patients. There are possibilities coming up in Ireland. Yes,
so
there
Kathy
are.
might want to be advised of that. Kathy, if she's not
yeah,
there.
and it's interesting about Kathy because I know that this dream is very Kundalini. But you know, Chrism, isn't it true that you can have multiple things in a dream? So, you know, there could be aspects that are important as well connected to Ireland. I know that you've had a dream about Ireland and
the Emerald Isle, so to speak.
Yeah, yeah. So I wouldn't dismiss it as not being connected to Ireland for Kathy as well.
I wouldn't either.
But anyway, so there's a possibility of something coming up in August, or it might have to go back to September. I am looking at a week, maybe a community living for a week in Ireland, and with some camping. I like the idea of people maybe if they want to bring a child with them, and that they could do that, or if they wanted to bring a partner with them, that they could do that as well. Now, I was looking at August as well because people, if they had a child that they wanted to bring, they would be off school. If I go into September, people have children going to school in September, but I already know some people can't come in August. So it's, you know, that's what I'm looking at anyway. So if anybody listening to that wants to email me or send me a message about what would suit them, I'd be delighted to hear from you. Just message me in my inbox on Facebook and I'll come to it next Tuesday. I'm just backing off Facebook for a couple of weeks here.
I totally
and
understood.
We'll see. So, yeah. So there is something possibly happening in Ireland, and I'll know in a couple of weeks for sure.
Thank you for that. Yes, go ahead.
No, that's you saying that's correct. No, that's fine, Chrism. I thought that was Manisha asking you, but that's yourself responding.
Yeah,
okay.
Well, I just wanted to respond to that, get the dates right. So, okay, well, very, very good then. Very, very good. So I have about 11 minutes left. Were you able to get any questions in your inbox?
I actually have about 4 of them. Now, I'm definitely not going to ask one of them because I don't want to go out on that one. So I'm going over now. Let me see.
Okay.
Where the hell? Okay, here we go. Okay. Okay, so how do persons having spinal sweep merge with divine? Are they not affected by power, luminous of God and Goddess, which is 1,000 times more than the seeker? In my case, I had energy drain. Does this happen with all or few? In Sanskrit, word, that's a different thing. Okay. So how do persons having spinal sweep merge with God? Are they not affected by the power, the luminous of God, Goddess, which is 1,000 times more than the seeker? And in this person's case,
they're definitely affected by that. And what typically happens is they go unconscious to a degree, because the conscious mind cannot withstand that level of force. The body can. The body can withstand that force because the body is naturally, I don't want to say conditioned, but the natural aspect of the human body is to become semi-divine and in some cases to become fully divine. So that is part of the natural evolution of the human physical systems. So no, your human cells are not going to blow apart, or they become transition. They become part of what they are here to become, which is, in essence, divine. So you got to remember, the Sumerians lived for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. One life, 16,000 years, 160,000 years. It's only through certain types of manipulation that we have not been able to come into the grace of the divine in a more, shall we say, productive manner. And that's been only within the last maybe 13,000 years. Okay, this flies in the face of science. This flies in the face of physics. And so if you're kind of like based in those two belief systems, then you're going to be thinking this is just a bunch of hooey. And feel free. But when you have the spinal sweep and you merge into the divine, you have some small partial awareness of it. Your body is on automatic. It knows exactly what to do. But your conscious ego mind, your consciousness is filtered. There's a lot of filtration that occurs. Super levels of filtration occur because the divine mother and father know that your mundane mind is not prepared to handle any of this, any of it. And so you're automatically put into levels of bliss, put into levels of ecstasy, and then you're put out, literally knocked out to a degree, so that you can't feel anything. You're not supposed to be able to feel anything. And then, towards, as you transition out of the sweep, boom, you're allowed to have consciousness again, and then boom, you're allowed to come back into that body again, and you're in this amazing cocoon that is very different than what happened before the spinal sweep. You're literally, in a sense, you're enlightened, but it's way beyond enlightenment, way beyond it. You're coming into levels of the divine flesh, and being seated back into the divine flesh is a very, very, very intricate process, because the mundane mind, the mundane consciousness, has to come into a body that has been significantly altered, customized in a way, because we're dealing with a person that has a specific level of karma, that has a specific frequency of past life involvement with Kundalini, that has a certain level of consciousness already in the body that has been waiting for this moment to occur. So as Amelia said before, within the Kundalini, there are many, many, many different things happening at the same time. Many different things. And so as your consciousness is seated back into your body, you come into a very, very different body. You're going from, she gave me an example, but okay. You're going from a bench to a throne, to a very, very divine throne. Which to me, bench to divine, I guess that's an easy one for the mundane mind to visualize, and she's understanding my reticence to say it that way. But for the mundane, this is very, very easy to see, from a bench to a very, very exalted, beautiful, amazing throne of grace. And so you're sitting on this throne of grace, and it's like, you have to learn how to adjust. You have to learn how to adjust. Now, when Amelia and I and other folks went down to Peru, and I did the ayahuasca there, I was placed into very similar scenarios with the ayahuasca. And I think it's because I'd had a couple of spinal sweeps, and I had been doing this work for a long time, that I was, the ceiling just lowered itself, and I was pulled into a level of light that was very much like a divine union again. And this happened 2 or 3 more times after that, maybe twice or 3 times. It's hard to remember, because one of the things that occurs during the spinal sweep, at least for me, is short-term memory obliteration. I am not in time. I am not in a linear, logical environment of timeliness during the sweeps. And during the merging, direct merging with divine takes you right out of time. You don't get to have time anymore. And so that's something to say. So I don't know how long I'm in there. I don't know how long I had a spinal sweep for the first time. I couldn't gauge time, Except during the ayahuasca, I was able to gauge times that when I came out of that divine merge, people were still in the room. People were still having the ayahuasca. So I know it was within a 6-hour time zone, or at least probably within a 3-hour time zone. I was probably only in there for a micro moment, but that micro moment seems very, very, very long when you're outside of time. Okay. So I'm just going to have to say over for the moment with that one. Running out of time here.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Chrism. I have a few more questions, but I think I can hold on to them until next week. We're done, really, I think. Are we? Let me see,
good.
3 minutes? Yeah, I'll hold them for next week. And again, just to say to people, any listeners that want to ask a question to Chrism this way, just send it to my inbox and I will read it out, okay? If we've time.
Last words, my dear. Last words.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody, and hi to everybody, and we will see you again same time next week. Thank you to all the callers and to Kathy as well, and everybody in the chat room. Thank you. Bye from me.
Okay, everybody. Yeah, if you're a new person and you're not familiar with this work, you can go to our Facebook groups, which are Kundalini Awakening ! And Kundalini Awakening Systems 1 at Yahoo Groups, Kundalini Awakening on Google+. You can also go to chrism.kundalini on the YouTube network, and you'll find about 340 or 345 videos there. That they're free, and you can just watch them and see what you think, see how you feel with this. Many thanks to everybody in the chat room, with Lana Seeker, Manisha, Michelle, Pandananda, Vicky Vaughn, and Vicky, that offer still holds true. Many thanks to Bo and others who are looking for the land there. It's an exciting time, and we'll see how things go. Many thanks to my co-host, Santar Kundalini, and to those who are asking the questions, the call-ins, and for those that are just reading this in the archives. Many thanks to everybody for paying attention to these words. And I will end it the way we started it. Here we go.